Are you ready?
Huh?
Wake up.
What? Hi. Podcast. Oh. Yes. For thank on Get Baked Cauliflower podcast. Go. Very nice. And different, multicultural. Get Baked. Nefarious dealers drugs on bake brownies. Good. Yeah. Very good brownies with stuff and in them. And yeah.
Focus.
Get Baked, a locally bakery thing that has lots of THC in the CBD. That was right? That was good.
Yeah, very good.
People fuck. Because fucking is nice. Yeah. Guys, I had an amazing day today doing the podcast with Thomas, hear me out, Hitman Hearnes Hill. Amazing guy. He has set up the Get Baked gastronomical experience where you yourself and your family and bring the kids can make your own pot brownies. Now, this sounds more nefarious than it actually is. It's really nice. It's this beautiful setup that he has here at Pay where you yourself can make your own pot brownies. You might get a little bit high trying this, but it's a lot of fun. It's this culinary experience that you can have here in the middle of Amsterdam. So, if you are interested, if I'm not believing, you can do it on Airbnb, right?
Yeah.
You can get signed up on Airbnb. It's the top, believe it or not, the top culinary experience you can have in Amsterdam. Of course you can believe it. It's amazing. I mean, if it wouldn't be the top if it wasn't very, very good. And I got to sit down with him and do a podcast, and we talked about all kinds of shit. There's reptiles going on. There's of course we talked about the THC and CBD and all that stuff. But not only like joking and talking shit about it. No, we actually went chemically into it. He said something about 11-hydroxy bleach something, and it was amazing. I felt smarter just trying to say the word. All right, so guys, give it a listen. Let me know what you think, and we'll have him back because fuck. It was amazing. I had the time of my life to talk. This was one of the best podcasts. I'd say that about all the podcasts, but this time this was one of the best podcasts. Oh man, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I've been dying to do this.
No
I've been dying,
problem,
like by the start of the conversations we already had, I know this will be like too much fun already. I already know this is going to be too much fun.
I was thinking before, should I write a few things down to talk about? I was like, I'm just gonna wing it.
I never did it. I do like beforehand. I do write down the questions that I want to do, like so that I can. Yeah, but usually I tell people like, don't worry, man. We're just having a talk, you know. And I'll get if there's a certain direction I want to go into, like I'll ask the question that goes over there.
You bring us there.
I'll bring you like over there. I kind of learned how to do that. It took me a while, but I kind of got to.
Nice. Do you teach also a bit of jiu-jitsu and things like that?
Yeah, I'm a teacher, black belt, man.
Oh, nice.
I got the black belt, so I was like, I got the black belt, left Brazil. Like it happened maybe 2 weeks afterwards, and the thing is, it happened. Then I came here. Then I was like, okay, I'm done, because I caught it really fast. I wanted to be one of the fastest person to get it. But I think the fastest guy was Caio Terra with 4 years.
4 years black belt from beginning to end.
From beginning to end, but he's exceptional.
But
he's
was he doing like a bit of it when he was a kid, like, but not kind of teaching?
From beginning to end, from zero to 100. Him and BJ Penn actually, but BJ Penn is from MMA.
Yeah, of course, I know BJ Penn.
And he's also he did it in 4.5 years, almost 5.
Wow.
But also, again, an exceptional human being.
So you already had a martial art background before.
And plus that, and I mean, if you see BJ Penn, a couple of videos of him, he can actually, like, from sitting down, throw his leg over his neck without using hands and shit. So he has hyper extended.
He was phenomenal. Like, he doesn't look like in the best of shape when you look at him, but like he was unstoppable back in the day.
amazing.
Yeah.
He was able to like bend in a way that like compressed people, which made them. You got this popcorn. I love this.
He's gonna hear that like extra loud. Like,
We're gonna eat it here and make this an ASMR episode. And subliminally just keep saying weed, eat weed, eat weed. But then I came over here and there was this whole thing about like I had to start giving classes and I had to start teaching and I had to. It was a little bit daunting because I did teach before, but I was accompanied by like there was like 15 at least black belts around me.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like if I did something wrong, I heard it afterwards immediately or at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, I was like on the, and you know how Brazilians are because you live there?
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're dumb.
Caralho.
You're dumb. Caralho. Come on, no cool. What are you making? What? Rolling? You want to get punched in the face, right? Yeah. That was amazing. But
nice.
We were talking earlier, and you went to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
What made you go in first place?
So what made me go is I was traveling a bit of South America beforehand. We did like a few little countries around like Colombia and stuff like that, Peru.
Yeah.
And then I came back home, and then one of my friends that I met over there, Australian dude, he carried on traveling, and he went to Brazil, and I was back home just kind of chilling out. And then he would like message me every day. He was at the Brazilian carnival, and he was like, I got this hotel, man. It's like, you don't have to pay anything. The carnival's going on. You need to come back. And I was like, I only just got home like a few months after. And I was thinking, oh man, kind of does suck in the UK. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go. If there's a hotel ready for me, I'm going to go. So went to just to go for the carnival. I was expecting just to go for like a few weeks or something. But I really loved the place. And then I just kind of never left.
We complain a lot about Brazil. I mean, you probably notice it there.
Yeah.
We do love it. It's a wonderful
Oh,
place.
of
There's a
course.
lot of crime and shit and everything like that, but man, it's a wonderful
People know
place.
how to have fun in a different way.
I think it's because it's so bad with murders.
Yeah, it's like,
People are like,
this
"Let's
might be
live."
your last night.
So let's live.
You better
Let's
have a
actually
good
live
one.
a little bit, you know? Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what... So, did you finish... was it during a studying period that you decided about... Like, you were in London, right?
Mhm.
And then you said, like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to South America.
No, to be honest, I've never studied or anything like that. I dropped out of school when I was like 16 years old, and I've always kind of been...
Honestly,
Yeah.
best thing you could have ever done. I did the same.
Yeah, I
No,
kinda
I went on a little bit more. I got to university and then I dropped out.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, fuck this shit, I'm not
Nice,
doing it.
nice. Yeah, I kind of just dropped out early and just kind of had my own little businesses from when I was pretty young. Like when I was like 16 years old, I was like a bit of a ticket tout. So in London, there's like a lot of theatres and things where you can like obviously you see like fucking Wicked and like Mary Poppins and all stuff like that. And so I basically like would go into the theatres and buy like a big like lump of tickets, like bulk buy tickets, and then like sell them on the street to tourists and things like that. Find like random tourists in London and try sell tickets and make a little extra buck and stuff. Like,
We might have to not say his name during the podcast because there is some illegal shit.
there's definitely some illegal shit that goes down.
Don't worry about
But I don't mind, it's so good. I really don't
Our
mind.
fan base is slowly growing, so it's okay. It's okay. Oh my god, that's amazing. But yeah,
Yeah.
shit, that's an amazing
Yeah,
entrepreneurial skill.
Yeah.
So you were at school and you were like, this shit isn't for me.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't for me, man. And in England, like the school system is very strict. Like you gotta have like a top button done up all the time, shirt tucked in, or you're gonna get detention and shit.
Oh, you had to do uniforms and
Yeah,
stuff?
of course, man. That's how it is in the UK.
I thought I went to a Catholic school in
Okay.
Brazil
Oh wow.
with like Italian nuns and shit.
What?
Yeah. I got physically punished at the time.
I bet you did.
Yeah, but I needed to. No sexual things. Too bad because that would have crossed off a couple of fantasies I had. But on my bucket list.
Nice.
But yeah, man. Oh, they walked around with like we had to wear. Well, uniforms are okay. We had to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
And what once happened was I fucked up something. I was like fucking around. I fucked around too much. That's why I left. One of them was like she really liked me, but I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Like I did a barbecue in the fucking classroom,
Oh,
and they were
okay.
like, "All right, no, this
Yeah.
is
This is Brazil, but still, you can't have a barbecue.
you went too far. You went too far. It's a whole story involving that." Then she like they walked around with like big long sticks, and I never knew what they were for.
Oh, they're for beating your ass with.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and not in a nice way, not in a Christian way at all, like cattle. They were, the second day I was there, she was like hitting kids, like, go back to class, go back to class, just left and right, just go that. And so she was like, okay, you really fucked up. Go like this with your hands. So I'm pointing my fingers upwards and holding. And she slapped the top of my fingers. I couldn't use them for the whole day. The next day they were like a little bit bruised and blue, like when you play guitar for too long, you know. And then they're like, oh. And I never did a barbecue again in the classroom. I learned my fucking lesson. Yeah, man, it's something about school systems that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
It doesn't go over well with me. I tried. I love studying. I love learning shit.
Yeah.
Being in the classroom just immediately gives me anxiety and my lunch wants to come up and stuff like that.
Me too. I get distracted just by other people and stuff like that. To be honest, the whole time I was at school, I never really wanted to learn. But then as soon as I got out of school, then I wanted to learn. But learn the things I want to learn, not just like what someone tells me I should have to learn. So.
System is fucked.
Of course.
System is fucked.
Yeah.
We should redo the whole school system. You know, there's universities are fine in my opinion, but the problem in Brazil is like the universities are in a format that is still high school.
Yeah.
So you're in a high school format constantly all through university. And when I was like, I went through with it and I dropped out.
Of course.
I went like, nah, this is ridiculous. I can't do this anymore.
As much as it's learning, it's indoctrination at the same time. Like, whatever they want to teach you is kind of what you're learning. Again, like being from England, they kind of teach you a warped version of history where England always looks good. You know, obviously England at one point had like 80% of the world under its control, and they were not doing good things. But they make it like, no, we built trains for people. We did this. We did this. Like, yeah, but
Don't
what
look
else?
at all the slave trade we did. No, that is fine. That's okay. That's outside of that. We stole a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a comedian who goes like, and then we put it in museums
Oh
to show it off.
yeah. In the British Museum, there's nothing British in there, man. It's a bunch of stuff from Egypt, South America,
India and shit.
Yeah.
Brazil had the singular problem of every time you wanted to go to do a job, and mostly of the jobs, everybody wants a job for the government.
Okay.
Because it's vitalicio, it's for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So if you are if you work for for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, if you get that job, if you pass the tests there's no interview system.
Yeah.
You're done. You don't have to do anything. You can literally steal as much as you want to get you out of that job. It's a legal problem so big the government won't go into it.
Fuck.
And that's what happens in Brazil. The corruption is so big because they can't kick you out.
Of course.
Because you earned the right to work.
Yeah. I was there when the last prime minister, his like wife got caught catching loads of money. She was supposed to go to prison or something, and then it didn't happen. And then there was huge protests and shit going down. I was there then.
Which year do you remember?
What year was that?
Because there's a lot of wives from a lot of prime ministers that stole a lot of shit. Did you hear about the previous vice president having a cocaine helicopter?
No, I didn't.
That's amazing. He had the helicopter purely to get cocaine from his own cocaine farm in Brazil. That's how big Brazil is. Back to the capital. That thing was flying like 3 times a day or something like that.
I didn't know they grew cocaine in Brazil.
I didn't either. Apparently the thing is they do it all in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember the story right, there is a growth of it in Brazil. Mostly of it comes from, of course, Colombia, which is right next door.
Yeah.
So they kind of had this trail going to his farm, which is suspiciously near the border.
Oh shit!
And from there they like grew it, propagated it, put it in the helicopter, and fucking flew the helicopter to the capital of Brazil. Which means every single person in government was high on fucking cocaine.
Yeah,
all the laws were written in seconds. They were like, shit.
Let's get this shit done.
Oh god.
But Brazil definitely had the scariest police I've ever seen in my life. Like, some police had like eye patches and shit. I was fucking scared of those dudes.
Scars, tattoos
of
like skulls and shit.
God.
Yeah.
So I actually got caught smoking weed, on the beach in Brazil. That was pretty fun. I was with one of my Brazilian friends, Pedro, and we were just kind of on Ipanema Beach. And obviously there's like one bit where you can kind of smoke weed, and there's like a kind of smokers bit. There's like all different sections of the beach kind of. There's like a gay bit of the beach, there's a smoking bit of the beach, there's like a pit where people play volleyball. We were kind of on the wrong bit of the beach where the hotels were and stuff, smoking a little joint. And then police come right behind us, like armed police officers, obviously.
Fucking like huge AR-16s or something.
Oh
like
yeah.
14s.
And they caught us right with the joint straight away, and they like fucking searched for our bags, and we had like another joint or two in the bags. And then like my friend was like talking to him in Portuguese, like trying to like get us out of it or something like that. And the police officer didn't know any English, but what he did know is what he told me. He looked at me and he goes, "If I find you again, you are dead." That's what he said to me.
And they'll fucking shoot
They
you.
were fucking. I believed him. I looked in his eyes. I was like, I believe this guy. I'm not gonna smoke
all
here again.
huge. Did you notice?
Oh yeah. Of
They're
course.
all on steroids.
Yeah. You gotta be.
You have to. They're fighting a war. That's the thing that we forget, that when they're in there and they're up in there, they're actually at war.
Of course, man.
These guys are ridiculous.
Of course, and there's people just getting banging on both sides. The police, they kill innocent people, then they want to join the gangs, and then the people with the gangs kill innocent people, and that makes people want to join the police, and then it's just growing on both sides. And
it doesn't make sense. The whole narcotics, like shooting each other. The funny part is, in that group mentality, in that war situation, in that fighting state, you know, when group versus group, there you can't even like come up with the idea of thing. The funny thing is, I opened up a gym there, and because it's very popular with A, criminals, and B, police officers, because all right, the criminals are doing this, so we better get black belts ourselves.
Yeah, of course, man. Everyone better get black belt with them.
What happened was, I had Boppy.
And not Boppy.
And I was actually in Rio de Janeiro. We had like 3 or 4 guys that asked me to like help teach over there, you know, just to have like more bodies that are good at something, you know, to practice with. They put me there in the middle of the Boppy, and then the Boppy was like, we made friends, and then because they're awesome guys, very straight.
Oh, but that's scary. If they roll up in that van, everyone, you can see, I saw in everyone else's reactions, these guys are not to be fucked
people
around.
are like, no, they don't. They'll shoot you. They don't even care.
Yeah, and I like their emblem that they have. It's like a fucking machete and then like a machine gun, like going through each other, and that's kind of what they wear. It's just
and
like,
a skull.
And a skull
with a fucking dagger in its head, like stuck in its head. They're like, we are not here. We are not taking prisoners. They actually say that we're going up there. We're not taking prisoners. We're not.
And they bandana it up as well sometimes.
Oh my god, it's tattooed up, like big fucking sleeve tattoos everywhere. Scary shit.
Oh shit.
Nicest people in the world, but very, how do I say this? Most of them, especially at the Boppy, they were very straight laced. So if you have somebody that is like very militaristic, it's kind of nice to hang around these people because it's a kind of different person to be with. And on the other side, I had them in the gym, and then at the same time, which was the 12 o'clock training, which was the competitors training and the hard training and the good training, I had the criminals with them.
Shit.
Best friends. They used to talk to each other. They were like, I saw you yesterday. You were doing this. You were selling that. You know, but you can't do that over there because that's my route.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my route. Just do it like 100 meters.
I'm gonna armbar the shit out of you today.
But they actually gave each other tips. Like they were like snitching, not snitching on each other.
Yeah.
Like both of them were like talking, and that was amazing.
That's cool, man.
That's amazing. And they were friends. But then again, once they get into the group mentality, deadly enemies. They shoot each other without thinking about it, and they train with each other in the afternoon.
Wow.
Brazil is crazy and lovely at the same time. I have no words for it. But yeah, man, you went over there.
Yeah.
What made you come to the Netherlands? Because eventually, and that's one of the main reasons we're here to talk right now, we're going into the chemical part of the story. Now, also the other reason I was like, this is a good segue to get into it because of the jiu-jitsu thing. I don't know if you know, but within the jiu-jitsu and the grappling community and the MMA community, especially because of Nick and Nate Diaz.
Oh, of course. THC has become very popular. And CBD.
Very. CBD especially.
Yes,
The Crown Gracie and Rickson Gracie, they're notorious.
Yeah, of course.
They don't talk about it, but they're like, the Crown does, but the rest of the community is kind of like, no, we don't do that kind of thing. But I've had seminars with most of them, and I've met most of them.
Nice,
they
man.
blaze up so much.
Nice.
But nobody ever had the whole idea of like eating it.
Yeah.
Most of them are on diets, so if you go to get some sugary stuff in you,
it's not so good. You don't want brownies and gummies and stuff like that.
I don't know, because the counter to it would be like fucking up your lungs, smoking things that have like bad weed in Brazil that has traces of crack.
Yeah, right. Well, just a bit of THC oil. Like I also make a bit of THC oil. You can use that and just drop it on your tongue. Then therefore you don't actually have to eat any pastries or snacks or anything like that. That's probably the healthiest way to take any type of THC without any detriment on your body.
Wait a minute, you separate the things?
Yeah, so you got to make like a bit of THC oil, so you can use like an extraction. So you can do like an alcohol extraction. So it's like a little chemistry, little setup you need. A bit of Breaking Bad.
I already love this.
Yeah.
More. This is the best podcast I've ever had in my life. All right, wait a minute. You have the plant.
Yeah.
So you buy it, and then you do the extraction through what process?
So,
without giving like if there's trade secrets involved.
No, there's
you
no
don't have to. You have to
involved.
give it
There's
away.
no
But
secrets.
like,
everything is open. I think the more people who can use cannabis in a healthy way, the better. I'm not trying to hide that information from anybody. So you'd normally grind up like anywhere between like 5 grams to 20 grams of cannabis, depending on whatever weed and how strong it's going to be. Grind that up, and then you're going to need like an extraction tube. So an extraction tube is basically a test tube, but it has a little hole at the bottom of the tube. Okay, so you set that up on a little apparatus. You grind up your weed, you put it inside that little test tube, and then you need to basically purchase the strongest alcohol that you can get. Here in the Netherlands, it's like 96% alcohol. Okay, but it's consumable cooking alcohol, not alcohol used to like sterilize or clean things. You can't use that alcohol. Okay, and then you're going to use about 3 shots of alcohol per 5 grams of cannabis, and you're going to put that inside the test tube. And then as soon as the alcohol touches the cannabis, all the THC is going to be released in like liquid form, and it's going to drip through that tiny hole. You're going to collect it in a nice glass, okay? And you're going to get like some bright green potion-y like liquid. You want to then put it through like a coffee filter. You need to make sure it's an organic coffee filter, not normal coffee filters, because they have bleach in them. So you need to make sure it's a nice normal.
Shit.
Yeah. Normal white coffee filters have bleach in it. That's what makes them white. Yeah.
How did you get to the little details? Was it more trial and experiment?
Oh, a lot of trial and error, man, and a lot of error. Yeah. Once you put it through a coffee filter, you basically need to evaporate the alcohol. So you could use like a pot on a what's it called, on a fire, or you could use like a crock pot, like an electric one. Or the best way is actually like a baby milk warmer, where you put a baby bottle in. You put it in one of those, and then the alcohol evaporates after like 40 minutes.
You have defiled
the
sanctity of the baby warmer just now. It's never been used for anything.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. Although I do believe that there's a people out there putting flashlights in it. Like the sleeve of flashlights in this. Somewhere, somehow, around the world, I'm certain there's a rubber pussy.
I don't even know around the world, probably here in Amsterdam. If anywhere.
Probably nearby.
Yeah.
There's a rubber pussy floating in a bathtub of baby bottle heaters. I believe in it. But yeah, man. Yeah. So this all came by you trying.
Yeah, just different trial and error things. And you asked the questions earlier, like what brought me here to Amsterdam. Yeah. And so that another trip in South America, another separate trip. But the reason why I really like to go to South America is because I feel like the wildlife there is just super fucking crazy. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a pet python and stuff. So I like reptiles and different kind of cool animals. So South America's always been a place where I've kind of wanted to gravitate towards. Obviously, being from the UK, you got like David Attenborough and things. I've always grown up watching those stuff, and I'm always imagining, oh my god, one day I could go to the jungle. Because in England, you got no wildlife. You got a fucking cat and a dog and a cow and a chicken, and that's about it.
Some ducks now and then.
Exactly. So I've always had the dream to go to South America. So I've done it like 3 or 4 times, which is nice.
Oh my god. Speaking of David Attenborough, he has his Instagram account now.
Yeah.
He just opened it.
Oh
up.
shit.
I heard that voice.
Yeah.
And I turned into a kid immediately.
Oh man,
he was like, oh, we're gonna bring you new information and stuff about things going on. I'm gonna tell you nice stories.
He's 93 years old, man. Oh, he's a cool dude.
He's amazing. He brought love to like animals and shit. But you went to the whole animal stuff, like the python. Yeah. What made you choose the python?
What made me choose a python?
Yeah, I mean, was it like the love at first sight? Because I can understand somebody walking up and saying, "Oh, that's a cute puppy." What? Did it lick your hand or anything?
No, so I saw an advert of someone who's actually selling it because it was getting too big and he couldn't look after it anymore. Yeah. I was like, that sounds like a nice responsibility. I'll take this python off your hands. So yeah, I'm not afraid of snakes, so I thought it would be a cool idea. I used to have other type of reptiles and stuff as well.
What was it? What did you have?
I had a chameleon. I had a few bearded dragons. I had other like little snakes as well, like garter snakes and things like that, and tortoise and stuff. So
tortoises seem nice. Tortoises is the most like I'm very. I grew up in Brazil and wildlife is mostly avoided if you're there. If it's like an animal, like I'm walking the other way. I don't know if it's gonna bite me, kill me, eat me, sting me, lay eggs in me, or something like that.
Or swim up your dick.
Oh shit! I had a friend which happened.
No.
Yeah, man. Pissed in the river, and he had like a speedo on because. Speedos are the thing in Brazil.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't have a speedo in Brazil?
Yeah, it's, you see, it's normal. I told you. I walked around at the beach here with speedos on. Everybody was looking at me. What a pedophile! What is he doing?
God. But the thing is, when I was in Brazil, I actually tried to buy normal boxer shorts, and I couldn't find them anywhere. It's like pants or nothing.
Yeah.
And then eventually I had to just wear these little blue pants. I was like, no, that's just gonna have to be my life
normal.
now.
It's normal. This is how it is. Everybody is like showing bulge constantly. That's how we measure each other's manlyhood. Oh God.
Yeah. So the last time I went to South America, I was in the jungle and I met my girlfriend, and she's Dutch. And we met in a little jungle called Tayrona National Park, where I spent like just a few days in a hammock in the little jungle over there.
Awesome.
And we met her on a little hike. Me and my friend went, and her friend went. And we met there, and then it was quite romantic, obviously. And a little relationship started, and then we had a long distance relationship where I was in London and she was here. And then I kept coming here and just kind of realizing it was a lot better.
Just coming over here.
Yeah. So then I told her I'm moving in. She didn't really have a choice, and and then that's me here now.
Okay, I'm coming. But no buts. I'm just here.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you like Amsterdam more, or is it London?
I like Amsterdam more. There's things I miss about London, definitely.
What? If you say fish and chips, I'm turning this podcast off.
It's not fish and chips,
God,
don't
thank
worry.
you.
What I miss the most is I come from Harrow, and Harrow in London is like the most multicultural place in London. Like in my school, I was literally the only white kid in my class. I'm not even joking. So coming here, it's a little bit white for me, and it's just I don't see there's obviously a lot of cultures here, but I don't see them integrated that well. Rather than in London, you really do see that. You'll be like, you could go to like a bench and you'll see like a Muslim dude, black dude, white dude. They're all chilling together. They're all friends. Rather than here, you don't really see that.
You see, it's still separate groups.
Yeah, you see the Moroccans over there, and you see the Dutch over there, and then the Turkish over there. It's not so much.
I think because London has been doing it for a longer time.
Oh, of course, London's been doing it a longer time, and I think what really helped in London is music. Like a lot of those cultures, we use a lot of music to kind of integrate a lot of cultures, which here that hasn't really been done much with like the Turkish music and the Dutch music. They haven't really fused together. Rather like we have a lot of Jamaican people and Jamaican in England that fused together. We made a lot of beautiful music and things. So
immediately
we had carnivals and stuff like very famous Notting Hill Carnival we have, which is like a Caribbean carnival in London, which is
which is immediately
it brings everybody together. It makes all the people see their food, their music, their culture, and appreciate those things. So.
Yeah, here they're still like a little bit off of each other. Yeah, man. Maybe weed will bring them together. I hope.
Yeah. Well, I think
it hasn't yet. But if they start playing music in coffee shops that is integrated, you'll definitely see like a bunch of people getting together. It's weird. I've lived in so many countries at the same time, and it doesn't make make sense to me.
Of course.
In any way, neither does money. Like if every single after I studied it a little bit of economics, I was like, okay, well, I understand the problems you face with it, but especially the borders and the passports and the visums doesn't at all make any sense to me in any way. Yeah, man. So you okay? It's just dropping back to the chemical stuff. As I said before, the grappling community is hysterically in love with CBD, and it has been for. Now I'm going to look at Chris because he can help me with this. How long has it been? It's maybe it's like the last 2 years, like since Gordon Ryan came up and stuff like that, and the grappling, like the no-gi world really got into it. I would say like not the last ADCC, but the one before. Like that one was also what is it, 4 years ago or something like that, or 3 years ago? So it's fairly recent.
Yeah, well, it was a big problem still when Nick Diaz obviously got kicked out of the UFC for smoking weed. So at that point, that was still a problem. It's then
ridiculous. How is that a performance enhancing? I smoke weed and I sleep. I'm a weak smoker. I'm a weak. This is like, what was it? Maybe 3 years ago?
It was 3, 4. Do you remember that fight though where Nick Diaz they did the testing afterwards and it was he had so much THC in his system that he must have been high during the fight it was I think it was even in Japan, which is kind of like
Oh well.
yeah, that's not
It's really hard to smoke there.
Oh yeah. But if you like weed, you can get it anywhere, man. I've never had a problem anywhere I've been.
Should legalize it all over the place. I mean, at a certain point, you can't fight it anymore.
No.
I think the best comment I heard somebody ever give to it, they were like, if a cell phone goes off and you're in a meeting or in a cut, just pick it up and talk about it. We can't ignore it anymore. I mean, it's not like unpolite or anything like that. It's literally part of your hand at this point.
Of course.
Like, if the more you fight it, the more people will find ways to use it and do it. So just give up.
The way my mind works, I think that the reason why most governments don't want cannabis legalized is because it kind of makes you think alternatively. It kind of makes you question, why am I doing this and why am I doing that? Which they don't really want you to question. They'd rather you drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes. That just kind of makes you stay in your little bubble. And compliant.
Makes you weak.
Of course. Like, you can smoke a joint and be like, wait, I work 9 to 5 and I do work behind a computer screen? Fuck this, this sucks.
I'm not doing what I don't even like this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're working behind a computer screen and you like it,
no judging you guys.
No judging. I mean, you do what you do. You know, you gotta make money and stuff. But do it if you love it. You know, do something you love. Like, don't sit behind a computer screen just to sit there. Hack somebody. Try to hack the NSA. And if you do, call me. We need to talk.
With me, man, I need to do a job that has some kind of meaning, man. It has to mean something to me. I can't just like do something for money. Like, it's just not really, it doesn't feel real to me. I can't just work behind a computer screen or work at a cashier unless I know that I'm actually impacting people, making their life a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Preach. Amen. Amen to that. I mean, you know, so many people wasting their lives.
Yeah, of course, man. It's
something I tell to you can compare it to is that some of the students go to competition for the first time. Like my white belts, I put them in competition as fast as I can. Like, no, I'm nervous, I'm this and that, and I gave up on giving them like advice. I said, listen, you're gonna do something that 99% of the human population is never going to do. They're never going to put themselves in this dangerous situation. They're never going to put themselves in like a risk situation, not in an anxious situation. And you know what it is? You can be scared and fucked up and it's going to be hard and you're going to have to go through this and stuff like that. But you're going to go through. I'm not driving you back. Yeah. Like, if you don't go, I'm beating you up. Yeah. So do you want to get beat up by me or just in front of everybody? Like, it doesn't matter. Go fight somebody in your own weight class.
Yeah. Losing is learning, man.
And lose. I don't care, but you're going in there. Yeah, like, and afterwards when they go, they're like, I'm so happy I took the lead. Of course,
man. Even if you get knocked out in the first stage, you still learn something, man.
I teach them. Do it. If you're stuck in somewhere, do it. Smoke. Like, if you... I can't endorse smoking weed yet.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for...
Just like alcohol is not for everybody. Some people drink alcohol and they turn it obnoxious and they just want to fight people. They shouldn't drink alcohol. There's some people who smoke weed and then they're not going to feel good either and they shouldn't do it. Don't feel like you have to be pressured because if everyone else does it, you think you should do it because it's for some people and it's not for some people.
That's true. Some people just get stuck on it too. Yeah. And that's one of the problems I have. If you like responsibly can do everything, do it. If you're getting stuck on something, like an addiction is an addiction, doesn't matter to what.
No, of course.
I mean, if you're addicted to coffee, like me, it's an addiction, it's bad, stop it.
Yeah, especially if it gets in the way of your training or something like that, or even if it gets in the way to the point where you have to use weed to do something. Like, that's not going to be good either. For example, if you do jiu-jitsu and you're like, oh, I only train jiu-jitsu when I'm high, then you're gonna have to make sure you need weed every time. So it's not good. It's not good to get into.
It does change the way you fight. You're so much more creative. Yeah. It's so much. You just do not give a fuck.
I would love to see like jiu-jitsu on like LSD and wonder like what would happen then.
Oh my god. Feeling somebody like touch you would be like the weirdest thing ever. I think I already become so huggy. I never tried it, by the way.
Yeah.
I already become really huggy with weed. I'm just all love. Like, oh, we're gonna fight each other. I love you. Give me a hug. Yeah. No, let's fight.
But yeah, going back to what you were saying, I think it's really interesting at the point where at all time in history, we looked at cannabis and seen that it makes you really lazy and it makes you not want to be very determined. But then you've got Nick and Nate Diaz who smoke weed pretty much religiously, but they're the most determined fighters. Like they're not lazy. Like they're far from lazy.
Triathletes. How can you smoke that much, then get on a bike, do 25 kilometers? I don't know, swim for like, what is it, 2 hours?
Yeah. And they win most of their fights from cardio. That's how they win the fights normally.
Which is ridiculous. Yeah. But there comes the thing. I mean, if you're with you have the THC drops.
Yeah.
That sounds at least a lot more healthy than going to like I did notice like when I stopped and I really dedicated it and I'm like I don't do it anymore, so I don't smoke anymore, and I try to limit a lot of my drinking to like very social occasions. Because there's this whole Christian thing that I have, and the other thing is very much I want it to be like the stand by the people that can't do it or are stuck with it, you know. So I'm not doing it for the people I'm not doing it only for myself. I'm also doing it for like if people come to me, look, I'm stuck, I can't stop smoking, and is it cigarettes or something like that? I can't stop drinking. I said, I'm with you. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking, and everything like that. I'm standing next to you.
Fighting the battle with you.
Huh?
Fighting the battle.
I'll be with you fighting the battle. I'll go through you, you know, and that's the responsibility I took up as a teacher. You know, do I miss it? Hell fucking yeah. Yes, I do. But then I can't betray the people that I'm like trying to help. If I go like, yeah, one is enough, and then for some people, one isn't enough. And I had my problems with addiction, so I get it. You know, so I stand with them in that way.
Okay.
The other part of me is going like, dude, it's so helpful.
Yeah.
It is so helpful. The only thing is like smoking it is not the best option, I would say. But is there? Well, of course we know, but is there a big difference between like ingesting it?
Yes.
And what would you say?
So when you ingest THC and you ingested it through your liver, it actually changes to a completely different thing. It changes to something called 11-hydroxide metabolite.
I was hoping this was going to be said in my podcast one day. It's becoming a smart thing.
Yeah. And it's 5 times more psychoactive than THC, so it's a lot stronger. You've got more of a chance of hallucinating and things like that. And so you definitely get a longer trip as well. It's like gonna last about 5 hours rather than just a couple hours. And a big difference is the two. If you eat any THC late at night, you're gonna wake up the next day and you're still gonna be high, definitely.
How many times had that happened?
A lot of times.
You woke up, oh shit, I'm still baked.
That's probably this morning.
What would you, in the way of making it? I see that Netherlands is, it's very progressive. So you can buy, there's coffee shops and everything and everything like that. And you see them having brownies and stuff like that, mostly touristy stuff and very bad.
Terrible quality.
Terrible quality. And most of it feels like it's mostly CBD.
Yes, definitely.
And it is.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the difference with CBD and THC? Can you how chemical can you get with that? Like, do you like chemical, or do you just, what is the experience you know about?
I've got bro science.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
A bit of bro science we can give you.
Yeah, so, if you say like 11-hydroxy something too many times, some of the dudes listening to this will have aneurysms.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll trip the fuck out.
Yeah, but there's just different compounds. Obviously, the CBD is just the medicinal part of it. And the CBD doesn't have any psychoactive properties. It's just a medicinal part, where it's really good if you're training or something like that, or you just maybe even got like a type of illness or a virus or something. It's good to just help it stop inflaming. So it's even good for even animals. So in America, they're using it in the vets and stuff like that. For your dog and your cats, even give them CBD. But then obviously THC is the psychoactive part of it, where it actually gets you high. But then there's all different types of compounds. There's literally thousands just within cannabis, and they all do different things. And we don't really understand all of them at the moment. There's not really been done enough research into cannabis. Even though here in the Netherlands, they've decriminalized it in 1972, they didn't actually do any research when it comes to medicinal cannabis. So they're quite far behind. In America and Canada, they probably have the most research. And even there, they still don't know so much. So we've got a long way to go, unfortunately.
Keep testing, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Try all of it. I did notice is, maybe it's because of my size. but I feel like the amount of THC is just the amount of CBD just doesn't feel like it actually works. Like I have to like, is it maybe the quality or the quantity that they sell here or something like that? Because I could drink half a bottle and go like,
So you'd be surprised here, the laws in the Netherlands aren't so straightforward. So actually making CBD oil is not actually legal in the Netherlands. Yeah. So they actually make CBD oil in Germany and they actually send it over here, which is quite strange. In Germany, it's listed as a food product and nothing to do with the medicine.
So you can import food, even if it's illegal food here.
It's a little deal they got going on with the government. I think the Dutch government are actually sending weed to Germany. They're using it to make the CBD oil, and then they send it back over here.
But isn't it also a question of like, is it illegal to grow here?
Yeah, so you're allowed to grow 5 plants of cannabis here in Amsterdam. Yeah. And obviously that's not enough to like supply a coffee shop or something like that. So all the supplying of coffee shops is actually illegal. But the little 5 plants you can have in your balcony, that's legal. You're allowed to do that. But there's a catch. If your neighbors complain about it, then they don't like it, the police can take your plants away. So it's decriminalized if everyone's cool with it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So technically you can have 5 plants.
Yes. If your
grow them
chill.
into trees.
Yeah.
But they're still 5.
Yes.
As long as it's 5
There's
steps.
no height regulation or anything.
Oh my God. We can have a forest with 5 of them.
Exactly.
As long as the rest doesn't touch the floor, you're saying you're technically only still at 5.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, and there's obviously the Netherlands. I think there's like 11 provinces in the Netherlands, 11 or 12, and they all have different rules and stuff. So some places you can grow weed, some you can't. And here in Amsterdam is one of the most liberal, where you can grow it in your own house. Some places you can only grow it outside. So
it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Will it ever get like? Can you grow it in your house and get it to the potency of some shit that we hear outside there? Because
yeah, you definitely can, but you have to be very experienced. Like you're not gonna do like first time. You're gonna put a seed in there and pull it off. You're gonna have to be like a 20-30 year veteran of growing cannabis, where you really know. You know the plants. You know the ins and outs.
Is there a limit of strength that they sell here at, or not?
No, there's no limit of strength, but the strongest weed that you're gonna get is like 30% THC, which is mostly like California weed and stuff like that.
But again, California.
Yeah.
I mean, they're growing things that is like rainbow colored,
exactly.
LGBT pro stuff. It has.
Yeah.
Once somebody showed me something that was red and purple.
Oh yeah. But here in America, they're also using some dangerous things that we don't really know what's going to happen. Like they're using a lot of hormones and things in the cannabis that's making it do all these crazy things. So we don't.
They're putting steroids in weed.
They're putting steroids in weed.
Americans. I love Americans.
Of course, there's any amount of time.
This is the first thing they came up with. Like, this is kind of small plan. Let's throw in some bull semen.
Some
on
Deca. Let's make
so
some
like
Deca.
Let's put some Deca in it. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not natural anymore. People are going like, weed is natural. Though here in the Netherlands, it's natural. It's outside. 30% THC.
Yeah.
How much do you need? About 30% THC.
That's ridiculously strong. You don't need 30. Like normal weed that would grow outdoors, like naturally in a country, would be like 5% THC.
Oh my God, that's 6 times over.
Exactly. So it's this unnecessary amount of strong. And also, I believe like.
What do you want to prove at some point? Where do you want to go with this?
Yeah.
People thinking.
The stronger the THC, the less CBD also. So you're actually losing a lot of the medicinal benefits by having such strong weed. So like natural weed actually has more CBD than THC, rather than all weed that's unnatural, that's grown like hydroponically or like inside like a fucking lab or something. That always gonna have stronger THC and it's gonna have less CBD. So it's actually better for them to smoke the natural weed in like Brazil or something, as long as no one's put any weird shit in it.
What made you put it into cookies?
What made me put it into cookies?
Or well, brownies or
yeah,
something. What's your preferred method of because your company is called
so I'm Get Baked Amsterdam, and it's like it's basically a workshop here in Amsterdam where people can learn how to make their own brownies, and they can make THC gummy bears, and I just basically give them a lot of information about cannabis.
Gummy bears is mean.
Yeah, exactly. Gummy
mean.
bears are nice.
What made you put them into like, because it's not illegal, you can teach stuff.
Yeah, of course, I can definitely teach people. I don't actually provide any of the cannabis myself. I meet people at the coffee shop or dispensary and they buy everything. I kind of recommend them, ask their tolerance and how often they use cannabis, and I kind of recommend them what to buy. And then we come back to the workshop and we start with the baking. I give them little information and stuff like that about like the hash and things that they're going to use, which is...
Okay. So is it more hash or is it more...
Yeah, so with our brownies we use hashish rather than cannabis, because with cannabis there's actually quite a lot of difficulties like cooking that into butter. One, it's going to take like 2 hours. Two, it's going to smell like fucking hell. And three, it doesn't actually taste that good with chocolate and things. Rather than hash, it takes about 10 minutes to melt with butter. Doesn't smell too bad. And the taste with chocolate goes a lot better than cannabis.
There you go.
Yeah, and
Also,
the gummies we use the oil. Yeah.
and which you get then again from the...
Yes.
But, alright. Then I have to ask, because this is all trial and experiment.
Yeah.
Which experiment did you have where you went like, shit, I'm never doing this again. I might give up. I'll put in a uniform on. I'll go back to school today. I did something horrible.
So,
it happened to me a couple of times, so I don't know.
Oh, definitely. So I used to make also like a smokable THC oil, which is like, it's similar to the normal oil that you ingest, but like you kind of cook it in a different way, so it's harder, so you can actually smoke the oil. You can smoke it through like a special bong or something like that. And I've definitely had some complications with that. I'm like, so like when you've got to like get it out, you need like a razor blade to kind of scrape the oil. I've ended up cutting myself. I've ended up getting alcohol everywhere. You can use butane, which is always dangerous as well. So yeah, a lot of dangerous things can go down.
Oh shit. But in cases of, I want to say overdosing, but overdosing on weed is actually just thinking you're dying. But
of course. I've had a lot of people come to my classes and they've definitely like whiteyed, we call it. And like, so that's when people get too high, they turn a bit white. And I've had that happen maybe like 5 or 6 times. And I'm pretty normal to make sure that I can keep people calm. I give them like a can of Coke. You got to explain to them just like what you said. The worst thing's going to happen is you think you're going to die. Nothing bad's really going to happen. Like you need
never
to vomit
actually
or something.
do. You never actually do.
Exactly. A few hours and you're going to be fine. But me, myself, I've never actually had that experience.
Never?
No,
you never
no.
had a bad trip?
Never.
Oh my god.
No.
Could you then call yourself an actual veteran? Not yet. You have to go through a war. You have to go through hell a couple of times to just say like, alright, now I get it.
Yeah.
No, but then I imagine you're just being responsible this whole time.
I don't know. Maybe I just have a pretty strong tolerance. I don't know. I smoke a lot of cannabis, obviously, and I wouldn't go ridiculous and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat 10 slices of brown. I'm trying to prove myself to everyone, so I'm not gonna go so stupid. But yeah, I've never had any bad times with cannabis, luckily.
I've heard about things out there, and how tempted are you to make them? Is like Death Stars.
Death Stars?
Death Stars.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the name. I'm gonna look at Chris. You know.
It's a particular edible that at a time, you know Joe Rogan?
Yeah, of course.
So a very close friend of his, Joey Diaz.
Of course, I know Joey.
Right.
Uncle Joey.
So it was an edible, and I think the milligram was, what's like a normal dosage, like 10.
10.
Right? It was like 100
Oh wow.
per star. And he would often very like multiple of these in a row take these. So it's like he would trick people into taking them, and now it's like an infamous thing, the Death Star. They're gummies.
They're just little gummy star things. Well, so I normally put like 1 milligram of THC in a gummy bear.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Then people already turn white.
Yeah, and then he's putting 100 in, so that's a whole nother cool game.
God.
Yeah, and 10 is like a normal amount, but I like to make the gummies quite mild, where you can eat like a handful. I don't want you to eat like one gummy that's going to ruin your life. Like, I don't see the point in that. I want you to like kind of enjoy the gummy bears.
Oh my god, the measurement of like how much THC is in a gummy bear shouldn't be based on facial expressions. If you ask like how much is there, and see people go like, then you know, like, so what are you doing? How high do you need to get?
Yeah.
How high do you need to get?
Oh,
That's something like, I think it's something so, I want to say juvenile, but on the other hand, I do understand this thing of going through a life-changing experience.
I've never had paranoia or anything of cannabis before.
I did, but it was the bad stuff from Brazil, so that might have been it.
Yeah.
The quality does matter.
Yeah.
In this case, but yeah, I was like, the paranoias I had were mostly existential.
Yeah.
I think the worst one I had was like breakdown crying and going like, Jesus is crying too because I'm a drug addict and stuff like that. And
And you're just looking up at like big 90-foot Jesus.
It's like, oh my god, I'm sorry. But the other part was I just came out of training, didn't eat. the whole day. It was 35 to 40 degrees,
Oh, yeah.
probably. We were in a gi. We sweated everything. I was dehydrated.
Yeah.
And somebody came up to me, do you want a bump of
That's
this
a lot
joint?
of things, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then I sat down on the ground crying, telling people that Jesus hates me now. Which was fun. It was existential. It was very existential.
Jokes.
But man, it's yeah. If you don't take care, if you're not like, if you're just doing it to get the fuck. But yeah, part of me really does want to like try something. Like when people tell me like, don't eat the whole gummy bear. Like there's this tiny little gummy bear, and people
Little
just,
whisper in the back of the head.
that goes like, just try it, just try it,
Just lick it.
do it, you can do it. Take it on an airplane with you. The next time you fly back to Brazil, which is fucking 12 hours.
Oh yeah, man. It's a
Oh
long
no,
flight.
you
It's a
would
long
like. I
flight.
wish I had gummy bears then.
Yeah.
I'd be popping them every 2 minutes.
The annoying thing is when you want to go to Rio, you always have to go Sao Paulo first. They make you fucking like stay on the plane, and then you got to go to Rio. Like and that's what every time I've gone there, that's what happens.
They either Lisboa does now. I don't know. Frankfurt and Lisboa do directly to go Guarulhos.
Nice. I normally go from Portugal. That's normally the cheapest flight.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a little bit shorter for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to kind of try it, but the part of me doesn't know. And you give classes every day?
No, I do classes like 4 days a week, and I do 2 classes a day. So like one class at 5 p.m., one at 7:30. So I got classes today as well, which is nice. I normally do like Wednesday till Saturday.
Wednesday till Saturday.
Yeah, I could do more, but I kind of want to enjoy my job. I don't want to do so much where people can kind of notice that I'm just doing it to make money. Like I'm doing it to have a good time. People are here on holiday. They want to have an awesome time, and I want to make sure I contribute towards it. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, this is that, this is this. Like,
And this make your own brownie
Exactly.
is an amazing little thing. That is an amazing project, man.
yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna join for
Yeah,
sure,
of course,
for sure. I want to make gummy bears.
Yeah,
I
sure.
want to trick people into gummy bears, which is basically poisoning people. But
Yeah.
I don't see the bad part in it if it's just 1 milligram.
Yeah, we can even make CBD gummy bears. I also have
Oh,
CBD
really?
oil and things like that. So
Oh really?
yeah.
Might actually help.
Yeah.
Can we make as with the CBD? Can we choose our dosage? Because
Of
I
course.
think I need a very high dosage. I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
I'm 115 kilos.
Yeah.
So I don't think like little drops will
Yeah.
do the
So it
trick.
actually doesn't have so much to do with your size. It has more to do with your metabolism and how that works. So it depends on kind of how fast your metabolism works and how that is, and more as to how it's going to affect you.
Oh, it's fucked. I did too much shit in my life. I have a horrible metabolism. It's weird. It decides on the day if it's gonna be slow or
If
fast.
it's going to work or not. Yeah. But yeah, definitely with the CBD, a lot of products here in Amsterdam or even around the world, they're just kind of relying on like it's kind of a new trendy thing. So a lot of places are selling it, but they're not actually selling good quality or actually selling enough CBD in their products.
Alright.
So like a big famous place is like Holland and Barrett,
Yeah.
which is like a popular here and in the UK, and they sell a lot of CBD oil and stuff. And to be honest, all the stuff there, that is, it's just marketing and it's just them making money. There's not enough milligrams of CBD in a lot of their products that are actually going to help you or anything. And that's a lot of places that are going to sell them in shops. Most CBD that's actually good, that's actually works, you have to buy like online. But there's actually good companies that actually like sell it, send it to your house and stuff like that.
They just and it costs so
Yeah.
much.
But
It's
if you're here in
ridiculous.
Amsterdam, you buy it from a shop, you're probably going to get ripped off if you
Yeah.
buy CBD oil.
Yeah. Even though they're like a recommended shop.
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah.
Do you have problems? Can you properly dose everything or not? Because I think one of the problems they have, one of the reasons they don't sell more of it, more edibles here in the Netherlands. Do you know why, or is there
Yeah.
a reason? Or it has to do with.
It has to do with technically there's different guidelines of how you're actually allowed to make space cakes.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to just make it in any type of way you want. They kind of actually want you to use actual cannabis with weed, and they want you to actually be able to prove that the weed is in there so you can actually visually see it. So a lot of space cakes, you actually have to see like little bits of green in there, and that's probably the most legal way of actually making a space cake. All different types of way with like melting, like with the oils and the hashies and stuff like that. It gets less and less tolerated basically. But the whole space cake is all grey area anyway. There's not like a set rules of what you can go by, okay? It's all kind of grey area, and like you have to just kind of ask different things to kind of get your feel around. But all the space cakes in all the coffee shops are actually sold to the coffee shops illegally. No one actually has a license to sell space cakes. Yeah.
There's some old Dutch guy hiding in Amsterdam in the back of his house or maybe on a farm that is actually slowly baking these things.
Yeah. So there's one good brand in Amsterdam. It's called Amsterdam Genetics, and they're making some fucking good space cakes. And they actually have like a Michelin star chef making the space cakes.
Oh shit!
But they're all made in like hidden location. Like they can't reveal who makes them or where they're made. It's all made illegally.
Which makes it way more interesting to have it. You're part of the mystery if you eat it. You shouldn't have told me that. If I ever eat one again, I'll be thinking about it. I might go on a treasure hunt.
Yeah, like a scavenger hunt, try to find him.
Going with the microphone around good people. Are you the Michelin star man? Are you the Michelin man? You look like a Michelin man. Oh my god, that would be amazing. It's like the truffle whole thing, you know? Like mushrooms, no, bad, but as long as it's not on ground. So they have like...
Yeah. So here you can grow mushrooms as well, which is pretty cool. It's decriminalized. You can just go to a shop and buy a grow kit, and you can grow your own magic mushrooms, which are pretty nice. For like 40 euros, you can grow like 500 grams of mushrooms, which is pretty sweet. I think the Netherlands is probably one of the only countries in the world that you can do that, so it's pretty nice.
Any kind?
Yeah, any kind of mushrooms you can grow, which is nice. They all have different grow kits for all different types of mushrooms.
Are you allowed to grow cactuses as well?
I don't know about the San Pedro and stuff like that, if you're allowed to grow that or not.
Yes.
Nice.
That's the only other thing I did.
They used to have ayahuasca ceremonies here as well, but they made that illegal recently. My girlfriend's auntie, she's like 70 years old, and she's done a few ayahuasca ceremonies here.
Oh shit! She was talking to goddesses and stuff.
Oh yeah. She loves it. She makes the oil herself as well. She actually had skin cancer, and she was making the same oil that I make. She actually taught me how to make it. And she was using it orally on her skin. Granny is a gangster. Yeah. And she cured her own skin cancer using fucking oil, man. CBD oil and THC oil.
It's not bad for you. I can't. No, it's like the whole concept of like maybe it's might be a little bit of a religious reason. Like if you go backwards in time, there must be an absolutely religious reason why you shouldn't take it. And people took that too far.
Yeah, of course.
And turned it into laws and something like that. But I don't see it being bad for any kind of economically.
Well, some religions they use it, like Rastafarianism or even like Hinduism, like obviously Hinduism they have hundreds of gods, maybe even thousands, but one of their gods, Lord Shiva, they believe he's the god of nature and that he actually smokes weed. So
Shiva fucking cool.
Yeah, Shiva's cool.
Shiva cool, man. There are parts of the Bible when in the beginning that I read and then I read again because I said, nah, I don't believe this. Somebody pointed it out to me. There's like, when they make the whole concoction and the differences in the incenses, it has hemp in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I read it up and it's like mirror stuff and like that. And then in the translation, it's basically hemp.
Oh, wow.
They burn hemp with the whole like process of that, which is in my head is like, does that get you high? Like in an incense thing, maybe it might have read something.
A little bit, just like the coca leaves, like chewing on those. You get a little bit high, but you're not gonna get like proper high.
You're not gonna see God.
Yeah.
You're gonna talk to him like, dude. I see angels.
But it's the same as like the Jewish book, the Torah. They also say at one point like, there will be a plant that one day comes that brings every man and woman together. So and that's how the Rastas they take that,
where that
and
is,
they're like, that's weird.
Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
Actually, Bible, Torah, same thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Old Testament is basically Torah.
Oh wow.
It is Torah.
And the Quran, they're all pretty much the same story. That's what I don't like. A lot of people arguing about the message or the messenger. It's like, well, did you get the fucking message?
Did you know that and now I have to say the right thing because I'll get a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah,
so I'll keep it vague so that I don't say they did. There's like the very beginning of the Bible is the same in both books.
Okay.
And then there's a moment where
it splits apart.
But it splits apart. And that specific moment is when I bet you heard about the story about this one of the founding fathers of the whole thing, right in the beginning of the book, had to bring his son up to a cliff.
Abraham.
He's better at Bibles than me. I read the thing about 14 times now. Actually, do the whole study. I was like, has to bring his son up to the whole thing, and then from there on out, there's a little divide going on. From about that point. But it's basically
Took to the burning bush, right? Is that Abraham who talks to the burning bush, or is that someone that Moses talks to the burning bush?
And that is something too that people have told me, like, it's weed.
Yeah.
It's weed.
Well, people say it's DMT. It's the acacia bush in Africa.
Yes.
The acacia bush, if you burn it, actually DMT fumes come off it. So if you breathed in that, you could actually hallucinate.
It opened up his third eye. I can't say this shit. I'm in the works, getting in the works. I'm actually in the works to becoming sort of a pastor.
Oh wow! Man,
yeah, I'm on that. I'm
jiu-jitsu pastor.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, right? I know. Look at what I'm talking. Like it's. I'm not. But that's the whole thing. Like people think. Like the old churches, no Catholic ones, weed, I shall purge thee of thy sins, and like slap you with a book.
But education is key. Like we're not just talking about pros, we're talking about cons. You want people to realize the real of what actually happens, not just tell people don't do drugs. That's not gonna work.
No. I eventually want to go political. Eventually, you know. But I'm working towards the whole pastor thing because I believe that there's too many extremists out there on both sides.
So you're gonna be even more extreme than all of them.
I want to be. I want to actually take by doing these things and having these talks and talking to everybody and being open about this whole thing. Like I have my worldview, you know, and I believe in that. Yeah. And it guides me through everything. But if I have this talks with everybody and I go through with everybody like that, I get the idea what you're coming from. Yeah. There must be a reason why you believe the things or do the things that you do. I mean, I can't say like well everything you do is bad. No. Yeah. I believe that people have bad actions, but that they're not inherently bad in themselves, you know? I mean, everybody can fuck up. Then there's, of course, the things like, yeah, but the pedophile priests and stuff like that. I said, okay, there's outliers. There's people that do stupid things. No, but even then, I have to get the middle ground. Yeah. I mean, we can't punish people to death. We can't, like, close borders and not take people in that came out of war zones and were in the middle of chemical attacks. You have to open your house and your home and your country to things. So I don't want it to be like keep everybody out, keep everybody in. Yeah. It has to have a nice little middle ground, you know, in these things.
What about you moving over here? Was that difficult, moving from Brazil to the Netherlands, and all the paperwork and stuff like that? Or?
I'm actually very, very, very easy because my father is Dutch. I was born in the Netherlands, but I grew up out. I spent a total of, well, with these now 1.5 years, I spent a total of like, what, 4 years in the Netherlands?
Okay. So you speak a little bit of Dutch?
Oh shit, I think my Dutch is pretty good right now. my Dutch is, it's pretty good. Oh, how are you? Are you doing good?
Not as, my girlfriend says not so good.
But you can get through stuff, right?
I can understand a few things, but talking back, I'm pretty bad with pronunciation and stuff like that.
Something I tell people, it's useless. If you want to do it out of love for the country, do it. Yeah. You know, like you can, if you want to like have Dutch conversation, and it's also like learning the language of the country gives you a deeper understanding
of the country and the roots, of course,
of how they think, how people go through things. Like the Dutch are really stingy with money. That's something everybody tells me. But then when you talk to them in Dutch, it makes sense. Because they come from a culture that had war.
Yeah, of course.
There's a very beautiful and famous painting by, help me out, famous Dutch painter.
Rembrandt?
Cut off his hair.
Van Gogh.
It's called the aardappeleters, the potato eaters. And that always shocks me. I looked at it high, and I looked at it on a lot of weed, and I looked at it completely sober, and both of them were impacting because you saw like farm workers that only like were eating only potatoes, and their faces were like sucked in and like dried and really like, and Van Gogh captured that marvelously with like big eyes, you know, those sunken in cheeks, like completely hard work. He even got it's not in high quality and stuff like that, but even the little details of like fucked up work fingers, you know, he got that, and just one woman looking at him like with that side, and the rest just digging into food, which made me remind me of my grandmother that said like when the Germans came, it was only potatoes for a while. And then you go like, I understand why you save money. I understand why you don't give away stuff, because you went through that and you gave that through to your children. Like hold on to the shit you have. Hold on for dear life to the shit. You don't know when it's gonna be taken away. If war happens again, it sneaks up on you. Like I think the Corona thing is a good example how like Corona is our fault. Fuck it. Corona is our fault. The collective consciousness of everybody going like, I wish there was a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
I was like,
everyone wanted it, right?
You wanted it too, right?
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
like, I wish some shit would go down.
Of course, life was too easy for a while.
Don't you have the same things where you're like, I'm standing here, if somebody comes in, then a robber comes in with a gun. Then
I'm ready.
I'm ready, I'll get him like this and that. I think the collective consciousness of every single human being on earth was like, I hope like World War Z goes down.
Yeah, but we
I'd
got
be
the
a
worst
survivor.
version of it. It's not like a real enemy. It's like the enemy's invisible.
It sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
It starts this small.
Yeah.
It starts this small. And that's the whole thing with war too.
Mhm.
It was like declared on radios and TVs, and people are like, it's not real.
No.
It snuck up on you, and then suddenly bombs are dropping,
Mhm.
and then you're like, holy fuck, oh
Mhm.
fuck, oh damn, oh shit, you know, and that's the whole thing. It
Shit.
sneaks up on you, man.
Shit.
That's why I'm like, yeah, we trailed off quite a bit,
Yeah.
man. But it's a wonderful piece of work that you're doing. I think that the informative part,
Yeah.
like teaching people and going through it, and if you're going to do it, I'm not gonna tell you like don't do it.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I can't. If I
Yeah.
prohibit you from doing anything, especially kids, they're definitely gonna do it.
Of course.
If you have an option, I'd say eat it
Yeah.
instead of like
Yeah.
smoking it.
Of
Which
course.
one do you prefer?
I like a bit of both, to be honest. But if
Yeah.
on the healthy side of it, definitely better to eat any type of cannabis than to smoke it. Obviously, smoking's not good for your lungs unless you vaporize it. That's also a good way of going about it as well, which is nice.
Is it different? The high?
Definitely,
Sure.
it's definitely different. It feels a lot different, like as you're getting high, because you don't actually have like any like it's not harsh on your throat. Like when you smoke normally, like that bit of like harsh like thing, that's what kind of makes the high like more intensified a little bit, rather than with a vape, because you're just breathing it in and you don't actually feel it hit the back of your throat. You kind of don't notice getting high until you're already high. You don't really have that little break in between. It's just like from not high to high. You don't really have that little medium stage. So it is a little bit different, but you can get used to it.
Good. That's amazing. What about the tobacco in it?
Tobacco, so yeah, I do smoke weed with tobacco in it, but I don't smoke cigarettes by themselves. But I would definitely like to go without tobacco, because I like to run a lot. I do quite a bit of exercise, and I know it's
cool,
not
man.
good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You should come train with us.
Yeah, I would love to come
Shit.
train with you guys,
I'm
man. I would
definitely-
love
I'm
to
leaving
come
in the
train.
details and shit. There's
Yeah.
a gym. I think you love the people from 10th Planet. There's a 10th Planet.
There's a 10th planet here.
Amsterdam.
I did not know that.
He's 10th Planet.
I didn't know that,
It's
man.
like,
Fucking we get all like flat earthed up. We can.
Eddie Bravo came like last year, right?
What?
Eddie
Oh,
Bravo was here
shit.
last year.
Fucking
Boogie,
hell.
Freakazoid,
Yeah,
all those weird guys, they
wow.
were here, man.
That's crazy.
They were here. They
That's
were.
crazy.
Oh shit! I wasn't there. I couldn't do it. But man, when I heard of them, I saw them like from a little bit. I said, I can't believe this. I saw this dude on YouTube.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love Eddie Bravo. He's funny as hell. He makes me laugh.
With the whole conspiracy.
Him and Alex Jones, when they were together, that was the
best
funniest
thing ever to watch. That
I
was
know.
pure entertainment.
It was gold.
It was Joe Rogan going like, guys, calm down, guys, sit down, get
He's just
Eddie,
trying to organize
Eddie,
it
stop, Eddie, stop, Eddie. Okay, keep going.
It's like trying to stop two 12-year-olds from fucking
Man,
going
it was
crazy.
amazing.
It was good.
It was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I have to watch that again.
What do you
We
think about Joe Rogan going to Spotify?
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah,
Like,
you-
if you
you
if
do
you
it.
if you just look at it like from what he has achieved and done,
Yeah.
good for him, man.
Mhm.
Good for him. He blew up that stuff. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I understand him absolutely doing it. There's this culture of radio that is still integrated into us. You know, that's why we listen to podcasts. You know, those old used to. I always you should listen to this, man. If you want to get like this beautiful mindfuck, listen to the old radio like stories where they take like 30 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and they go and tell you a story.
In more depth, rather than like in our.
Any kind of like fairy tale story
Yeah.
and
Oh,
stuff like
nice.
that. And most of them had those wonderful voices for it. Like the old Twilight Zones,
Yeah.
they used to be radio broadcasts.
Oh fuck.
You listen to that, you shit your pants. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, but they made us believe, like in our generation, that like everyone just wants like quick news and they don't want to spend a lot of time listening to anything. But then kind of the podcasting just kind of made people believe that that's not true. Like People don't want this fake, like, quick news. People want actual to listen to things, like, in depth and actually learn about it.
They want to. People want to. If they like you at a certain point, man, they'll listen to you. You can't satisfy every single human being on the earth. That's not the goal. The goal is what I said, is like connecting to people and learning. You know, I want to know. I want to understand this. You know, I want to know why it's like, when are you gonna infuse popcorn? We have a bowl of popcorn in front of us, like infused butter and then just. Which brings me, by the way, if the whole rules in making the brownies is like you have to see it, why just not garnish it a little bit? Like, isn't that a possibility?
Yeah,
like
that's definitely a possibility. Loads of people do that already.
You hide it, you fill it up, and then you just like Salt Bay, like sprinkle on
a little thing on it. That definitely works. People definitely do that.
Oh shit! There you go. We solved the problem of eating grass.
Problem solved.
Like you have this beautiful fudge thing, and out of nowhere you feel like you bite into it. No. I actually have an idea, a proposition. So there's a guy in Albert, the market, Albert Kuip.
Albert Kuip Market. It's next to my house. Yeah.
There's a guy called there, Dan Brownies.
I know him. I'm in contact with him.
Already?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. I don't need to do anything anymore.
Yeah. He makes some really good brownies. I'm trying to get some good tips off him. It's like trying to help me out with my space
together.
Brownies.
I talked to him and I ordered like a big box and shit. And
nice.
I was like, could we be sponsors maybe? Could you sponsor us? I would love like to be sponsored by brownies.
Oh yeah. But he's new as well. He's pretty new, starting up.
So I was like, dude, I asked him, do you want to go into like, why not make like, because if you're going the route of actually becoming famous and having something more and like being like big and stuff like that, the weed market is right there.
Of course, you're in Amsterdam. Well, come on.
I mean, that was if you can make
brownies, or even CBD.
If they taste like what he makes, and I ate the vegan gluten-free one.
Delicious.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Nothing vegan and gluten-free is good in the world.
Warm. You can eat them cold, and they're still fucking really good.
Vegan and gluten-free shit is not meant to taste good at all. It's meant to fuck you. Thank you. Thank you. Whatever you vegan and eat, it tastes horrible. Stop it. Go back to.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of people who message me like, "Can we have a vegan class? Can you teach us vegan brownies?" I tell them, look, they're not gonna taste very good, but if you want to make a vegan class, we can do a vegan class. But I'm not promising you they're gonna taste good.
Just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
It's not like the cow. There's probably a cow somewhere that's okay with the milk and the butter and shit.
I can do everything without butter, without milk. The only problem is egg. Egg is something you kind of need for a brownie. Without egg, like.
I mean, the chicken will put it out anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, guys. It's like have a chicken at home. Bring your own egg.
Bring your own egg.
Like, give it love.
Fair trade, free range.
Free trade. Dude. Give it a name. What the hell? I don't care. Like give it.
Chickpeas replace egg pretty nicely, I think.
Huh?
Chickpeas replace.
Chickpeas. I've tried banana. Didn't really work so well. But chickpeas.
She knows her shit.
She knows her shit.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Chickpeas could be nice. Yeah, that's true.
Nice. But yeah, back to chickens. I feed chickens to my python as well. So.
Goodbye, vegans. Thank you for listening. It was nice having you here. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.
Well, it's actually fair trade. It's pretty good because of mainly male baby chickens. As soon as they're born, they literally get thrown away into the rubbish, and because they don't lay eggs. So like obviously half of the chickens that are born are male, and they just get thrown away. No one eats them. No one uses them. So my python eating them is actually better for the environment. They don't get thrown away. So we'll have the vegans back, please.
Come back. We find a nice way. we don't throw them away. We feed them to snakes.
Exactly. It's better than throwing them away, right?
That is true. Such a waste. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely, because I love meat. I'm Brazilian.
Yeah, of course.
I forego watching the documentaries and the things. You know, I'd rather stay in some stuff. I'd rather just stay oblivious. Yeah. Like if it's like stuff like that, I'm like, I know there's a movement. I understand it. I get it. I'd rather stay oblivious because I love fucking meat. Mm-hmm. I need a ribeye every now and then.
Yeah, of course. You need to, man. You need to.
I can't train on vegan diets. I did it a couple of times.
But I wish we could just click our fingers and see what would happen if like everyone was vegan or vegetarian. Would it actually work, or would it just still be a problem? Like because you're also still killing animals when you grow food, when you grow vegetables, obviously.
I had somebody. You know the carnivore diet?
Yeah, of course.
Only meat.
Yeah. My friend tried it for a few weeks. You know?
I did it.
Yeah, you did it?
I did it.
Oh,
50 days. Wow. Lost a shit ton of weight.
Yeah.
Got ripped really fast.
How was your shitting going?
horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. I didn't, basically. It was like I pooped once a day and it looked like goat poop. Like the amount was ridiculous. It was like
shit.
very like this big a guy like almost not pooping.
Oh my god.
But perfectly fine. It wasn't like it just the amount was a lot less.
But was you using sauces and stuff, or was you just straight meat? with no
Straight
sauces?
salt and pepper.
Okay, that's it.
That's
okay.
it. I did have the occasional like zero Coke diet. and
Okay.
Stuff like that. The occasional, because after a while, like after the first 4 days, you're like, fuck, I do not ever want to see meat again. And then once you push through, your body actually says that.
But you can eat white and red, or only red meat?
I went with everything.
Okay, you can eat chicken and fish and stuff like that.
People called it fuck all animals diet.
Okay.
That was basically it. I ate anything that was animal based,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. So, but most cow and red and whatever, like deer and stuff. Deer is amazing.
Yeah, I bet. I've never tried deer or anything like
Oh,
that.
venison
I would
is
like to.
awesome, man.
I would
It's
like to.
gamey. It's strong. It's
Yeah.
strong meat. It just tastes better.
Yeah.
And like as a secondary option was like white meats. Also cheese.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
went with cheese and
Nice.
milk. So if it came from an animal, I ate it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
The opposite of the vegan diet.
absolutely opposite, like a protest. But before that, I had done the vegan diet for
Okay.
again 60 days,
Oh, wow.
full on training twice a day.
So what, from vegan to carnivore straight?
I took
Yeah, the little
I
thing
took
in
like
between.
3-4 days to
Okay.
build it up. So I ate
Okay.
small amounts of meat, small amounts of meat, small.
Should have done like different, like see how fast you can run 100 meters on vegan diet, and then see how fast you can run 100 meters on meat diet.
Oh, I can tell you through training actually.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with training, it was like when I was on vegan diet, because I was consuming so much, so I was constantly eating. I was constantly
So your body's using that energy.
constantly. I didn't get tired.
Yeah.
I didn't get tired.
Okay.
It just kept going. Weak as shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't lift anybody
So
up.
you're a marathon rather than a sprint when you're on a vegan diet.
When I was, basically. Pains, I still had them.
Mhm.
I felt looser.
Mhm.
I felt like more,
Like a yogi.
yeah, I was a little bit like that, you know, like looser, like limbs were looser and stuff like that. Nothing, everything more just flowy and shit.
Mhm.
And
Did you saw Game Changers? You saw that?
yeah, bullshit. The whole thing is
Yeah,
bullshit.
I didn't
Like no,
I watched about 5-10 minutes, and they're like talking about Nick and Nadia. I was like, he's not even like a strict vegan. He's like, sometimes he's a vegan.
Yeah,
It's not like he's always a vegan. Like,
But then you can see their bodies
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like, I mean, do you want to fight like Nick Diaz and have your face is basically one scar tissue?
Yeah.
No, I don't want
she's
that.
greater.
That's one thing, and then the other when I was on so it was good. I'm not saying it's bad, but
Mhm.
then I went to like the carnivore diet.
Mhm.
It's super aggressive, super
Yeah.
explosive,
Yeah.
but they get tired after 5
Yeah.
minutes.
And again, you don't feel so like flexible. You kind of feel a bit tight.
No, yes,
Yeah.
but no inflammation. Weirdly enough,
Okay.
like no pains.
Yeah.
And everything like, oh my god, my testosterone level were through the roof.
Mhm.
My strength was through the roof. I felt like an animal. I felt like I'm not gonna fight anybody. I'm gonna dominate and kill everybody. So you feel like on top of the food chain.
Of course.
And when you're vegan, you feel like, oh, I'm gonna flow through this.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
actually changed my mood.
Oh, 100%. We're just eating blood by
Yeah,
itself.
it's-
A bit
yeah,
of
it's
blood. This animal instincts triggering off. It turns you back into a...
Immediately.
caveman.
I remember going like, this is nice. You did a technique on me. Let me flow through it. Find
Yeah.
a way. To when I was like, when I was on an carnivore, I was like, how dare you touch me? And then just demolish people because of it. It was like hyper aggressive from hyper soft to hyper aggressive.
Yeah.
And people said around me, and that's my base of like how to judge it. Yeah, you got better. You're way more aggressive. You're finishing more, and it's
Yeah.
like this. And the other side, I was like, yeah, but on the other one, I was kind of having fun more.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
And you're more just you do like 100% jiu-jitsu, or you're all MMA and you do a bit of judo, wrestling.
Oh no! Everything that has to do with grappling is what I love.
Okay.
And
No striking. A little bit of
I'm
striking.
done. I'm done with striking. I did boxing for a long time.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I was going home with headaches constantly.
Yeah.
And I was, this isn't good for me.
Mhm.
I want my brain. You know, I can miss my legs
Yeah.
and my arms and my joints. That's okay.
Yeah.
But as long as I have my brain at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I mean, I've met a couple of strikers. Funny thing, I met a couple of strikers. They were really fucked up because most of strikers are alcoholics.
Mhm.
Most grappling people are weed smokers.
Yeah.
Funny as fuck thing. Like, and they were having serious problems after a while. You know, they were like they took like you couldn't understand them anymore. Like their speech part was being fucked up. And some of them, even the famous ones, you talk to them, it's hard to understand them.
Oh yeah.
You have to like, one of them once made a joke. I'm not gonna say who yet. Next time I'll have him over and then you'll understand what I mean. He said a joke and I didn't understand shit and everybody was laughing and I said, but what did he say? I didn't understand the joke. He says, oh, that's just him. Nobody understands, but just laugh because it's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't even pronounce your middle name correctly anymore, that's when I was like, striking is fun, really nice, not for the long run.
Yeah. Fuck.
A lot of them then jumped over to smoking THC and having CBD. Got a lot better.
Yeah.
They weren't anymore in that like I'm gonna get fucked up. They didn't burn away the neurons for some reason. You know, it got better.
Oh wow.
It actually constructed stuff.
Yeah. My dad said the same thing. My dad, what he used to do as a job is before DVDs were about, he actually used to like hoard all the boxing videos, and he used to have like professional boxers come and pick up all the tapes from like fights and stuff like that. So we could have thousands of boxing videos from everybody, and people would come and pick them up so they can study their fighters and stuff like that. So definitely met a lot of fighters and stuff when I was younger. Not that much to remember, but yeah, he definitely told me that a lot of the fighters that he had were not so clued up, basically. A lot of people were stuttering all up when they talk and things like that, especially back in the day where they were sparring a lot harder. People didn't really know too much about like CTE, things like that. So,
which is a shame because you do realize when you're talking to them that there is a very literal and good intelligence behind it.
Yeah.
The only problem is the whole speech pattern is gone.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
It's like completely. So people have good idea, have nice ideas, know how to talk and everything like that, know how to like formulate a whole good information shit, but they don't know how to transmit it anymore. That is gone. That is completely gone.
Yeah. My dad actually wanted me to be a boxer. He named me after a boxer. My full name is Thomas Hitman Hearnes Hill.
No.
Hitman
Hearnes.
That's on my
Really?
passport. Yeah.
Your middle name is
My
Hitman?
middle name is Hitman.
This dude just keeps getting cooler. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
You should try get pulled over by the police with that name. It's pretty fun. Or go through customs. That's pretty fun.
They'll go like
Go through
Hitman.
South America and they're like, look at it. They go, Sicario. It's like, no.
Oh my god.
I'll definitely never get away with actually killing someone. They'll be like, I wonder who it is. Is it the guy whose name is Hitman?
We have our suspect, ladies and gentlemen. Oh goddamn, man! But it was good.
Yeah.
I had fun. This was fun.
It was good, man.
This is good. I think we have a lot more to go. We'll go into conspiracy theories next time. I believe that'll be a good one.
I love a bit of conspiracy theories,
Oh,
man. That's
shit,
one of my
man.
favorite. My girlfriend's sick of me talking about him, so it'd be nice if I go on.
Oh my god, we can if we started, we'll stay here forever. By the way, I'm not leaving anymore. We're all staying. We're all done.
What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Have you heard the one?
I've heard all of them.
You have heard all of them. You know in the old paintings from Da Vinci,
Yeah.
where there's an UFO?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
And there's like the whole religion shit.
Oh yeah.
Aliens.
Oh.
And I'm like, yes,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
stand behind this. The whole 10th planet shit.
Yeah.
That too, like the planet
Newbie, what is it called? Eh?
Nibru.
Nibiru.
Yeah, Nibiru or something
The,
like
the
that.
planet that is like around us and like, and then every so often the news will go like they found another planet.
Yeah, right.
And then you go like, oh shit! I hope it's that. I like Kennedy a lot, but then I watched the famous comedian. What's his name? I forgot his name. I always forget his name. Hitchcock. No, I forgot his name. Like he goes like back and to the left and back and to the left. He always keeps saying that, you know. Then I watched all the conspiracy shit about Kennedy, and I'm like, you know what? I actually don't really care. Epstein got me down a rabbit hole for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Epstein put me down a rabbit hole for a while.
It's cool.
conspiracy.
Oh, and then there's the gluten conspiracy. which
Gluten conspiracy.
I
I,
love
haven't heard this one. Let's go.
It's
What's
like,
gluten?
I love it. Like
What's the gluten conspiracy?
The anti-gluten thing. What I saw, it was the stupidest video in the world. I sent it to you. I will send it to you. So the anti-gluten, the gluten-free movement industry is slowly poisoning everybody with gluten-free stuff, so everybody becomes intolerant to gluten.
Oh.
Because I personally, so I'm one of the, I personally ate gluten-free stuff, and afterwards, I couldn't eat gluten
Yeah, it
anymore.
fucks you up, right?
It fucks you up.
Oh shit.
It fucks you up. She's gluten-free.
Yeah?
And I like ate one of her breads a couple of times, you know.
Oh,
and
shit.
then afterwards, I was eating normal bread and was like, my stomach can't handle it
fuck.
anymore. So they're putting chemicals in it to fuck up our system, so that nobody buys wheat anymore.
Yeah.
So that the whole world economy goes shit. So
The same thing happens with milk though. Like if you don't drink milk, like again, if you go like South America where there's not really milk, people don't really drink milk, and then you come back after a few months and you start drinking milk again, I kind of will get a little.
Yeah, you
stomachache and
get
stuff
like
that.
something like that.
Yeah, your body is like. I'm not used
No,
to
this isn't normal.
Yeah.
I'm used to the other stuff. Give me the chemicals. Where's the soy stuff?
Exactly.
Which is your favorite one?
My favorite conspiracy. I've kind of been into conspiracies like since I was like 15 years old, and now it's like all the conspiracies are really into like mainstream now, which I like that. I'm behind that. I think that's pretty cool. But I like royal family, like the European royal family, and kind of how they control things. I'm a bit into
There's
that.
still like a little bit of the Rothschild.
Well, of course, like all the
Rothschilds?
European families, they're all the same family. Like if you look at their family genetics and like their family tree, they were related at some point. So they've basically had control of Europe since the get-go, and it's kind of we all vote for prime ministers and things, but don't really think about. No one's voting for these guys. You get to sit in a castle the whole time.
Doesn't it have to do also with the Masons and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that? That
definitely
went
goes
like
back
they
a long
found
time.
like Solomon's treasure and shit,
Yeah.
and then they created banks, and then from the banks that shit started, wasn't it?
Yeah, and even Prince Charles himself, he says that he's related to what's it called? He's related to what's his name? Fucking Vlad the Impaler.
No.
Yeah. He's related to those guys, and like even what basically Dracula was based on.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
There's stuff we need to watch today. There's stuff I love going into that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How don't you? How do
Yeah.
you not like going into that? I love the South Park episode where they go like into the conspiracy stuff, and they're like, "There's no conspiracy. We're just too stupid.
Yeah.
We didn't understand shit." Then we tell the public there's a conspiracy,
Oh,
so that we don't look so stupid.
Oh my god,
Oh man,
that's good.
I loved it. I loved it. I love
to
this.
go down
thing.
the rabbit hole.
Oh man,
I like the Matrix theory as well. That's pretty cool.
That is also there is which one is it? Let me go.
Matrix theory is like, we live in a simulated reality, basically. So it's like everything could be on a computer, or things like AI technology kind of controlling us and letting us kind of live some basically dream world or something like that.
That's actual philosophy.
Yeah, well, Elon Musk said it's rather happening now or it's gonna happen in the future. There's no two ways about it. It's not like it's not gonna happen.
It's probably how to explain the world today. Like we commented on it like a couple of minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
So I was also saying the following. Think about it like this: if you talk about the reality you perceive, you're giving me a matrix of the reality.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
If that keeps going, then it's a matrix of the matrix of the matrix of the reality.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch like whatever's going on in America right now isn't the real reality we're living in. It's always a matrix. That's why we don't perceive reality. We don't perceive threats anymore.
No.
Where we used to, as like more primordial beings, go like, that's dangerous, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, we're like, nah. This is just the reality of the reality of something I heard, which I then construed into something that I heard and see it now, you know. And
then you're gonna tell someone else and make it their matrix.
I watched a couple of weird shits. There's a couple of philosophers and physics out there that go into that route, like theoretical physics and stuff like that. And he was giving an interview, and he was sitting there, and the interviewer asked me, "So what do you think is real?" He said, "Shit, I don't even know if you're real.
Exactly.
I don't know if any of this around me is real. I might be dreaming this
Yeah,
bullshit,
of
and I have no way to prove that's different." And you see the interviewer going like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not real.
They had that famous, there's that famous test, isn't it, where they had like these lasers or photons go through something, and they proved that like if humans actually watch the experiment, that a different thing happens than when humans are not watching the experiment. They basically see like what marks it makes on the machine, and it shows that just by watching it, it makes a different reality.
Oh, dude, nothing is real. Everything is like a waste of time. And that's why I think everything is funny. That's why you see me like constantly being happy around it, because in my mind, until we die, it's all just waste of time.
It's a game show, right? You're just gonna have fun.
Yeah, just have fun, man. It's basically everything we do is a waste of time.
Yeah.
And everything is beautiful and nice, and just enjoy it. Why would be angry at a simulation?
Exactly.
I actually believe that. It sounds really fucking weird, but I actually. It's to me, it's like everything I do, the whole process of like learning and going through and having the fights, it's all just one big funny thing and having
of course,
fun,
man.
and
You'll be on your
enjoying
deathbed
it.
one day laughing about all of it.
Yeah. Why would I be angry at the stuff I am? I'm like, why? No, go. At least be happy while you're doing it. I mean, you chose to do it.
100%.
Ah, man, beautiful. I think we're gonna get our hands on. I don't know if we're gonna join today. We want to get our hands on some edibles
Yeah, man.
soon.
That'd be cool, guys. So,
I love it.
maybe hook up something at the end of the month or something like that. Obviously,
Oh,
I'm
that's-
quite booked out for the next few days,
I
but
could imagine.
yeah,
Do you
but-
want to grow it in a certain direction?
do I want to grow it in a certain direction?
Do you see a future, or what would be the future you see?
What would be
would
the
you-
future I see is I always want to be like at the heart. I don't want to be like disattached from it where other people were doing it and I'm kind of sitting at home. I want to be able to do the experience because I enjoy it. I like to talk to people. People come from all over the world, and it's not just like the same people every time. It's not just stoners who come. I get people who've never even tried weed before. I have people who come in, they're 70 years old. I have people who come 18. I have people who come from the army, police officers, fucking judges, lawyers, everybody.
Amazing.
So you get a huge group of people and you get to see something that kind of bring people together. And yeah, it's a nice part of my job that I enjoy. So it's not something I want to be separated from. I would like to branch out and obviously maybe have my own shop or something like that, and can do it here in Amsterdam would be great. And yeah, I'm not like to become like with the money side and that. I'm not really that fussed about making like a killer or like so much money. I just care about more, like I said before, making sure you do something that you actually enjoy, and you can wake up in the morning and not be like, oh, I have to do this. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I gotta make some brownies. It's not like, oh, it's the end of the day. I also have a dog walking business as well here in Amsterdam, so I walk dogs in the daytime and I bake cakes in the evening. So life's pretty easy for me.
That's a wonderful life, dude. This example is how I should live. You're gonna be my new guru. I'm gonna look up to you. I'm gonna call you with life questions.
Yeah, I walk 4 dogs around the Vondelpark, and it's really nice, man. Get up in the morning, or like 10 in the morning. I walk the dogs around for an hour, and then it's a nice little start to the day.
Shit, that's an amazing job.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's lovely, man. That's lovely, guys. I mean, I can see it. I would see like, if I would have like see it like that, I would love to see a MasterChef Amsterdam
Yeah.
where people are cooking.
Yeah, if I could have my actual shop rather than like a shop that I rent, and actually be like Get Baked Amsterdam, where people could come and like book an appointment or something like that, and then they can like leave a deposit and make sure they come later on. That would be awesome.
Man, I'm gonna get this podcast out. I hope like you get filled with people soon, like booked for months.
Awesome. So Airbnb is like what I normally use to for people to book it on, is the platform that I use. At Airbnb, they take like 20% of my of the money that I make, but they do a really good job of making sure people come and book it. So anyone who books an Airbnb here in Amsterdam, just a normal one to stay in, Airbnb will email them and tell them to come do my class, which is pretty cool. And I'm actually in contact with the managers of Airbnb in Amsterdam. They know what I do, and I'm actually the #1 cooking workshop in the Netherlands, so they're pretty happy with my service.
God damn. God damn, that's awesome. But yeah, you have an amazing service,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I love it.
Nice.
Summer man, Thomas,
Yeah.
Hitman Hearnes Hill.
Yeah.
It was an enormous pleasure. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was nice for my first podcast. I had a good time. It was chill.
You'll have 100 more.
Yeah,
You're
I
good
hope
to
so.
talk to. Plus the English accent just gives you a +1 every single time.
I feel like my accent's gone a bit weird now I've lived here for a while. Like a lot of people, even like my friends from back home, they're like, oh yeah, you sound a bit strange.
It sounds damn English to me, man. If
I catch myself saying like water and stuff like that. Where like before I'd be like water. And it's like, water.
Shit, yeah.
But now I'm like water. I'm like, it's changing slowly.
Changing what I drink now.
Mhm.
Awesome, man.
Sweet, man.
Well, this was it. I think we can call it a wrap.
Well,
Right,
lovely.
guys? You have any more questions? I see you writing down a bunch of shit. I'm like,
No?
do you have stuff?
Actually, yeah. Honestly,
Go on.
if you wanted to get into like the metabolism and weed, how that correlates.
How the metabolism and weed and how it correlates.
Yeah.
So it depends on like how fast your metabolism is, on how fast it's going to kick into your system. So some people can eat an edible and it can actually kick in within like 15 minutes. But then some people could actually take like 3 hours, okay? And it doesn't vary in your size. Like obviously in my class I've hosted like over like 1,500 people. And I've seen,
Nothing.
yeah, I've seen like people from all different sizes, and that really doesn't make a difference. And yeah, I've obviously make sure I contact the people after the class and I kind of see how they're feeling and see what kind of, if they got too high or they didn't get high enough, or I'd rather people get too high than not high enough, but still. But yeah, I get back to people and people tell me, and yeah, it's all pretty much very individual on how people are going to feel and how long it's going to kick in and how long the high is going to last and what the high is going to be. But I'm pretty sure most of it is to do with the metabolism and things like that.
So would you like slim it down to a few types of metabolism and say there's a certain expectation for everyone? And if so, what types could you like separate?
So I wouldn't be able to break it down like that far, I would say, but I do get like a rough understanding of people. Like when I come and talk to people, I need to make sure that kind of, if they've done edibles before, they can tell me their experience of what happened and how much they use, and I try to make sure that they have a better time. Because you don't want people to come and get too high, because the high is going to last like 5 hours, okay? You don't want people to be too high for 5 hours. It's not an
I want to get off this train.
Exactly,
I
right,
can't.
exactly.
There's 12 more stops.
So no, I wouldn't be able to break it down to like set groups of metabolism, but when I go and talk to the people and I meet them at this dispensary, I kind of like ask them a few questions and kind of ask them their past experiences and how they felt and stuff like that. And a lot of people who come just complete fresh and they've never tried cannabis before, and those people I'd always make sure to give them a pretty small amount, and you don't want them to go too overboard.
If somebody like crazy, like the people I know, they're
Mhm.
completely ridiculous. They're
Yeah.
psychopaths. They're nice psychopaths.
Yeah.
They're amazing psychopaths. They're psychopaths.
Yeah.
They like, they'll probably come here and say like, I want to speak with the devil.
So I recommend people like 5 grams maximum, and there has been some people who go over that limit, and obviously that's up to them. I would say, look, this is the maximum I recommend. If you want to go over, that's completely on you, okay? It's your trip, whatever you want to do.
Don't bring it back to me.
Exactly. I even had one person come to the workshop on magic mushrooms, and he didn't even want to bake, and he was just like, I just booked this class because I thought it'd be a safe place for me to take my mushrooms. I was like, fair enough, man. And he never took mushrooms before. I warned him before. I was like, if you're in a place where you don't really know people, you might have a bad experience, but everyone was really cool and he had a good time, and yeah, it was a nice experience. He was like washing his face like in the bar. I could just hear him laughing. Like, washing his face. I was like, yeah, this guy's having a good time. Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. That's an amazing ending to the whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we had Thomas Hitman here. I'm still amazed with the name. Thank you so much from Get Baked.